Welcome to the PHP Roadmap. Now, it doesn't matter if you're coming from the Backend developer roadmap, DevOps, system design, or even software architecture. This is where your journey with PHP officially begins. So, let's dive in. In this first explainer, we're going to cover the absolute essentials. We'll get a real handle on what PHP is, we'll see how it evolved from a tiny project into a web powerhouse, and then we'll get practical and figure out how to get it running on your own machine. So first things first, what exactly is PHP? Well, at its core, it's a server-side language. And what that means is all the magic, all the heavy lifting happens on the web server before a single piece of the web page ever loads in your browser. Yeah, its full name, Hypertext Preprocessor, sounds a little intimidating, right? But it's actually the perfect description. The PHP code on this server preprocesses everything, all the information and data, and then it generates the final clean HTML that your browser actually displays. You only ever see the results, not the code behind the curtain. Think of it this way. Static HTML is kind of like a printed brochure. It's fixed, it doesn't change. PHP is what turns that brochure into an interactive application. It connects to databases to pull your user profile, it processes the data you submit in a contact form, and it builds entire pages on the fly. It's the engine that brings a static website to life. Okay, so you might be thinking, isn't PHP kind of old? And it's true, it's been around since the 90s. But its evolution from a simple set of tools to a modern powerhouse is precisely why it's still so crucial today. It all started back in 1994 as personal homepage tools, but things got serious pretty quickly. PHP 5 was a game changer, introducing full object-oriented programming. Then PHP 7 came along and delivered a huge speed boost. And now, with PHP 8, we have modern features like a just-in-time compiler, which makes code run even faster. Each step has made it more powerful and more efficient. And the impact of that evolution is just massive. Millions of websites, including giants like WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla, all run on PHP. Its ease of use and simple deployment made it the go-to choice for these huge platforms. It is the silent, reliable engine for a huge part of the web, which means learning it opens doors to a vast number of projects. All right, let's switch gears from theory to practice. Before you can write a single line of PHP, you need a place to actually run it. And because it's a server-side language, you can't just open a file in your browser like you would with HTML. You need a local server environment right on your own machine. Now, you could go and install a web server and a database and PHP itself all separately and configure them to work together. But for anyone just starting out, the easiest path, by far, is using an integrated software stack. These are just all-in-one packages that set everything up for you with a few clicks. And these software stacks are all pretty conveniently named based on the operating system they're designed for. LAMP is for Linux, WAMP is for Windows, and MAMP is for macOS. And if you want one that works on any of them, XAMPP is your best bet. Each one of these bundles gives you the complete toolkit. Apache is your web server, MySQL or MariaDB as your database, and of course, PHP itself. This means once you install one of these, your computer is fully equipped to act as a web server for all your development and testing. With your environment ready to go, we're at the final step for this introduction, writing your very first script. Every developer's journey starts with Hello World, and in PHP, it's remarkably simple. So, you'd create a file, usually called index.php. Inside, you use these special PHP tags to tell the server, hey, this part right here is PHP code. The echo command is your tool for outputting something. And notice how we're not just outputting text, we're outputting an actual HTML H1 tag. The server processes this and just sends clean HTML right to the browser. And this is one of PHP's biggest strengths, especially for beginners. There's no complex setup or build process you have to run just to see your changes. You write your PHP, mix it with HTML, save the file, and just refresh your browser. It's that direct connection between your code and the result that makes it so approachable. So you have your environment all set up, and you've written your first line of code. But what's really happening inside that PHP file? How does the language actually work? That's what we're going to explore next. And that's exactly where we're headed. In the next part of this roadmap, we'll break down the fundamental building blocks, PHP's basic syntax, and how to use variables to start managing data in your applications. Continue to the next step in the PHP roadmap when you're ready. This is Developer Roadmaps. Map your path, build your career.